recently spoke about Arizona and how outrageous it was that their Supreme Court had decided to revert the state back to an abortion law from 1864. And a lot of people got on my case because they believed that when the law was written shouldn't matter because we still use the Constitution and that was written even earlier. So here's what I'll say to that. Yes, we live under the fundamental framework of a constitution that was written in 1787, ratified in 1788, and operational since 1789. And that's a long time ago. Most of the rights you can name are based on the original 7 articles of the Constitution, the expansion of the Constitution with the Bill of Rights in 1791, or the following 17 constitutional amendments we added after that. But the key word there is added. We added to the Constitution over time. Of the original 7 articles, one entire article is completely devoted to how to amend the Constitution, how to add to it or change it. Because while the framers of this nation might have been a bunch of white guys who mostly owned slaves and didn't think that much about women, they were also forward thinkers, enlightened men who knew they were creating the documents of a nation within the confines of their time. The framers deliberately left our founding documents open so they would be able to evolve. They understood that the freedoms originally offered to a small group would over the course of time be expanded. The supreme law of the land was designed to grow as our country did, to literally be, as people like to call it, a living document. For the record, Thomas Jefferson actually believed the Constitution should expire every 19 years and then be rewritten because he thought things would change, and those changes would need to be reflected and updated. To quote Jefferson himself, "I am not an advocate for the frequent changes in the laws and constitutions. But laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the progress of the human mind. As that becomes more developed, more enlightened, as new discoveries are made and manners and opinions change, institutions must advance to keep pace with the times. We might as well require a man to wear still the coat which fitted him when a boy, as a civilized society to remain ever under the regimen of their barbarous ancestors." So no, don't talk to me about the Constitution like you thought of something clever to justify making women live by some archaic rule of the past. The very men who signed the Constitution expected our laws and customs to change, and they made allowances for it in the blueprint of our nation. If anything, we should be concerned that the last time we updated the Constitution with an amendment that actually acknowledged our evolution as a people was in 1971, when we lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. After that, nada. Our Constitution stopped advancing with the times, and we counted solely on laws in the courts. And now, thanks to the extreme right wing, we're moving backwards. Well, the women of this nation are not going back because you don't own us and you can't control us, and you can have your zealots speaking in tongues on the floor of the Arizona Senate, but most of us have no intention of living in a nation ruled by Christian nationalists. The framers themselves didn't want that, which is why one of the other things they put in the founding documents was there shall be no laws establishing a religion. So to anyone out here justifying making women live under a law that deals with medical concerns written before antibiotics existed, or justifying that decision around theology by name-checking the Constitution, check your Constitution. You aren't just morally wrong, you're historically wrong.